Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. This one's going to be a bit quicker than normal because this is my second time recording this video, and for some reason the previous time I didn't save. So, let's go through the 6 albums as quick as I can. First we have Torture Stab Wounds with their new album Manual Manic Procedures. This is a bit of death metal, which I'm giving an A-. I thought the riffs and the pacing overall is pretty decent. I do think it does go to a few places where it doesn't really hit that next gear, but it doesn't really have to. Riffs are really good, lyrics are a little bit generic about death, but I'm fine with that. Production's quite clean for an album like this, and I do overall like the band's performances as well. I just feel like it could have gone to a lot of other heights, and it didn't really do that, but I do like it for what it is. Next is Charlie Crockett with his second most recent album titled $10 Cowboy, because he put a new album out in July. This one came out in April though. Giving this one an A+, a tight A+ for an album we'll get to a bit later. Really solid country. Charlie comes off as a really earnest and surprisingly wholesome guy, and very optimistic as well. That's the main theme of the lyrics, is trying to maintain optimism through hardships, and he does that quite well here. I like the guitar work, I like a lot of the instrumentation, I do quite like the pacing as well. I do feel like maybe it can blur a little bit, and arguably it ends on the wrong song, which should have ended on Lead the Way in my opinion, but I do think overall his performance is really good. Riffs really good, lyrics are amazing, and production's quite nice, adds this really authentic and raw layer to it, and gives it this really nice tight focus scope, and I really like how it's handled. Next we have a band called GOON, Don't Fucking Laugh, with their new album God's Only Option Now. I think this is their second album. This is a good bit of hardcore punk mixed with some nice elements of noise rock. I'm giving this one a B. I thought it had some really strong riffs and really good, I was going to say good lyrical content. I couldn't really find anything on themes. I think the band performed really well though. I like how dense and focused the production is, and I like the experimentation with the hardcore punk. I think hardcore punk and noise rock are a really good match when they're done together correctly, and I do think the pacing does suffer a little bit from being slow and having a fair bit of filler, but it does do a really good job as a hardcore punk album, and yeah, just really like how punchy and rough it can be at times. Next is I Love Your Lifestyle with any album Sommerland in brackets Torpor or Nothing. This is a bit of Swedish emo, not really a genre I'm used to hearing from Sweden. I'm mostly used to metal, their massively underrated punk scene, and their really good rock scene too. Give this one a B-, tight for lowest grade of the episode. I liked the overall like sort of positive vibe of it, you know. I like this sort of maths rocky thing, which is really good with the guitar, not so much on the bass and drums, I will admit. I think the production is good in summary, but it could focus more on the bass and drum parts. I do sort of like lyrics, but the problem is half the songs are written in their native Swedish and the other half is English. Just go all one way or go all the other. I don't know. I thought it was still doing really well though, and I think the band come off as quite optimistic without being overbearing about it, and yeah, really good themes, mostly decent pacing too, to be honest. I do wish it had a few more songs on it, and again, like a very bright summery feel to the production, and the performances are really good too. Next is Johnny Blue Skies and his debut album Passage du Désir. I'm probably butchering that name. It translates in English to Passage of Desire. This is the new album by Sergil Simpson. However, to keep to his promise of only releasing 5 studio albums under his actual name, which is exactly what he's done with The Ballad of Dude and Juanita coming out 3 years ago, or at least that's how I'm headcanoning it, this is his first one under a new alias, and it technically lets him release new music. Give this one the other A+ as well. Love the instrumentation as well. I do think maybe it can be a little bit repetitive and easy to notice, but I don't hate it at all. I really liked the overall pacing. I think the pacing is really good. I like even the long songs. They're handled quite well and have a lot of really good story, and Sturgill storytelling is at its most emotional on this one, with really good themes of longing, loss, and identity matching really well, and telling a really good cohesive narrative. Is not really an intentional concept, but I mean, Sergil is still a great storyteller. Production on this is also really fucking great too. Yeah, central performance really good, lyrics really good. Pretty much everything about this album is really fucking good. Really liked it. And finally we have Y with their album The Well I Fell Into. This is a weird mix of like indie rock and what's supposed to be hip hop, but there really isn't any hip hop elements to this. I'm giving this one the other B-. I thought it did a decent enough job for what it is. I do wish it had the more hip hop elements, but it does still have some experimental stuff, and while I did find the lyrical themes of loss and heartbreak to be a bit weirdly conflicting with how it was actually written, and it doesn't really come across that way, the band do have a lot of charm. I think the productions are really nice, and I think most of the beats are pretty good. I do find some of them a bit hard to remember off the top of my head, but you know, I liked it for what it was, just really good, good slow burnish sort of indie rock stuff. I just wish that they added a bit more of a sort of hip-hop-y element to it. And next is the official ranking system. I'm still going to do this even though this video is like half as long as the previous attempt was. Going for, at the bottom, probably Why Would the Well I Fell Into, then I Love Your Lifestyle with Someone Lent For All or Nothing, then Goon with God's Only Option. Now again, don't fucking laugh at the band name. 200 Stab Wounds with Manual Medic Procedures, and between these last two is difficult, but I'd have to go with Johnny Blue Skies with Passage of Desire, and then Charlie Crockett with $10 Cowboy at the top. As always, go and listen to all of these yourself and formulate your own opinions. Favourite song goes to Jupiter's Fairy from Passage of Desire. Just really good storytelling and a really fucking good song. Favourite album cover goes to I Love Your Lifestyle, because it's like a balloon, but like it's got a lot of happy faces. It's like a happy alien sort of thing. I don't know, it's a bit simple, it just makes my brain happy. Well, about it for me, and again, sorry for this one being about half as long as you would expect, but kind of on a time crunch, and also, again, previous attempts to record this didn't work for some fucking reason. So, I'll see you all tomorrow for the Go Home Show for Over the Top. And, that'll really about do it. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye bye.